I love the film, and I have to ask, there's a line early on where you're asked if something was necessary, and you say it was super necessary. Was that a tribute to Jorge Masvidal or
Yes,
just a neat coincidence?
it was. I've been curious if anybody is gonna pick that up. Yes, that was all a tribute to Jorge Masvidal. That was so necessary. Yes. Yeah. Yes.
Awesome. And the film's just so rooted in, the love and respect you have for mixed martial arts. And at UFC 268, you had the awesome experience of putting the belt around Rose Namajunas. And like she gushed about that experience. So I wanted to ask what that really meant for you to be able to do that. And after seeing such a great fight.
It was an honor and a privilege to be able to do that. You know, having spent 3 years sort of creating this world and sort of creating my own version of a MMA fighter, to really be in the ring in a real fight in Madison Square Garden. There's no venue bigger. And to be in there and feel that energy and to put that belt around her was probably one of the highlights of my life. I have so much respect for the sport, for the women of the sport especially, and it meant a lot that Dana allowed me to do that.
You did so much training and preparation for this role, and injuries ramped up. You really sacrificed for the art. As far as just putting yourself into work and the physicality of this film, does anything you've done before really compare to Bruised?
Not for me. I pushed my body past my limits. I really got to understand what I was made of in this process. And I worked harder than I've ever worked, for longer than I've ever worked. And I think I attacked it with more passion than I've ever attacked anything. And that's a tribute to how much I really do love and respect the sport and the athletes of this sport.
And I love that the film highlights Invicta FC, which does so much for women's MMA. Can you talk about that decision to work with them rather than, it would be so easy to just make up a fake organization, but you put the spotlight there on them.
Yeah, and I think that's why Shannon Nebb actually was so instrumental in me getting this project off the ground. Very, very supportive. And I know her story and I know how hard she's working. And when she said that we could use, Invicta right away, I thought, yes, I want to help shine some light on her and all of her efforts, because she's really doing it, I think, and making a real difference.
Valentina Shevchenko is great in the film, and the fight was amazing. And she said it was the five longest rounds of her life. And just, can you talk about working with her, and what about her? Like, obviously she's a great fighter, but what did you see in her that made you want to, spotlight her and have her serve as that foil?
Well, of course, she's the champ, and who wouldn't want to work with the champ? But for one, where I would be in her, flyweight class if I were really a fighter. So we were the right matchup for each other. And I knew that for my character of Jackie Justice, I wanted to be a grappler. I wanted to be a jiu-jitsu artist, a ground gamer. And so Valentina is one of the best strikers, I think, pound for pound, that there is. So I thought we would make a great, yin and a yang. I could rely on her natural abilities and I could rely on my natural abilities, because in all of my training, I found that my ground game proved to be my strongest asset too.
And then my last question, what was most difficult about starring in a film that you were also directing?
Oh, trusting that I was getting the best out of myself, without someone there to sort of guide me or push me in certain directions. I had to trust that I was ready to do this, that I knew this character inside and out, and that I was really getting the best out of myself. And that proved to be, hard sometimes for me to gauge, but I had to trust my 30 years of acting and everything I know. And it's the only way I could do it.
Halle, thank you so much for your time today. The film turned out great.
Thank you. Thank you very much.